Welcome, everybody, to HR Tech Talks. My name is George Rogers, and I'm so glad that you're joining us here today. We got a special guest, as always, and I'm excited about this conversation. And once again, this is one of our actual HR Tech Award winners, Bucketlist Rewards. And so having the CEO, Jason, is going to be joining us, and I'm excited about that conversation coming up with us shortly. Just a reminder, please feel free to comment, like, share this stream. And then be a part of the conversation. If you have any questions that may come up through our discussion here today with Jason, please feel free to put those in the chat, and we'll discuss those with you during the chat when we have available time. And so I don't want to take up too much more time. I want to bring Jason to the conversation because I'm excited about what they're doing and to learn more with you guys about Bucketlist. Jason, welcome today, HR Tech Talks. I'm so glad that you're joining us today.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I'm really excited to have a little chat about culture and rewards and recognition.
Exactly. So a lot of people that know me knows that culture is a huge thing. So I'm excited about that conversation. Can you tell us just real briefly who you are and what you do, what everything about Bucketlist in this intro for us?
Yeah, for sure. So as you introed me, my name is Jason Lindstrom. I'm the CEO over at Bucketlist Rewards. We're an employee rewards and recognition platform. I've been the CEO here since 2012. Personally, I just love to build companies that make the world a better place. In the past, I've actually had the opportunity to build, this is now my third startup scale up. The first two were successfully acquired, which is pretty darn cool. And then personally, I've got two daughters, two amazing little girls. I have a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. They're awesome, and a fantastic wife. I love skiing, and I'm pretty darn good at walking on my hands.
Wow, that's impressive. Walking on the hands. I know some people, maybe including myself, I don't know that has trouble walking on my own 2 feet.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive. I remember when I was a kid, I used to try to stand on my head and see how long I can do it with no hands.
Yeah, my daughters do that a lot these days.
As you get older, there are certain things you just don't want to do anymore. So for me, that's one of them. What kind of problems, when it comes to Bucketlist Rewards, what kind of problems is your technology solving for your clients? Like, what's the benefit for Bucketlist Rewards?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. Like, what is the outcome? So we found that when you take good care of your employees, they stick around longer and perform way better. An employee rewards and recognition program can lower turnover by more than 40%. And we've observed that with a bunch of different customers. And more importantly, can also really drive engagement and productivity. And it's neat. If you look around, a lot of the best companies in the world have recognition and reward programs in place, whether that's like the Googles or the Disneys or even the US military. And I think what makes us maybe unique and distinct is we have one of the easiest to use platforms out there, and we're fantastic at making employee dreams come true.
Yeah, that's awesome. When it comes to, and I think about this, the employee engagement piece, and you said something, making employees' dreams come true. What does that look like? And we're going to jump right into the culture right now. Just kind of open that foundation. What does that look like?
So I think when it comes to recognition rewards, there's, as the words imply, there's two sides of it. There's a recognition moment where you get to honor somebody for an outstanding or extraordinary achievement, whether that's small or big. And then there's a reward side. And the reward is where you have this opportunity to, again, to do a micro reward or maybe something big. And a lot of times the reward, if it's personalized, can be deeply meaningful. And so, for example, you might have a salesperson of the month, or you might have somebody win an Innovator of the Year award. For example, over at Google, in the early days, they had something called the Founders Awards, and it was all around rewarding innovation as an outcome and driving business performance. And it was cool that rewards program, the Founders Awards, resulted in Gmail, resulted in AdWords. AdWords is a multi-billion-dollar product now. So rewards and recognition can drive really powerful outcomes for companies. But how you reward those employees can be really, really meaningful, especially if you attach it to something they want to personally do. So for example, I've seen people, I know one fellow named Anthony who always wanted to learn how to fly, and for his reward, they ended up giving him a flight lesson, which is amazing. I've another really cool one that I saw. There's a VP of engineering named Mike. His father always wanted to go on a train ride, and they ended up, this company said it, and ended up sending Mike and his father and his whole family on a train ride, which is something his dad always wanted to do. So when you personalize and tailor the reward, you can make it deeply meaningful in the person's life and help them achieve a life goal. And that's when you kind of break the personal and the work-life balance, and you kind of blend those two things together in a beautiful moment.
Yeah. When it comes to that recognition with employees, that's really leadership, right? Leadership really connecting with that. Have y'all seen, the benefits? What are the benefits when it comes to the employer and the employees, and that impact the leadership makes? Because it really is about relationship then, to know that, hey, I recognize, we got somebody that wants to do flying. We got somebody that really wants to, take a train ride. It has to have that relationship. What's the value there, and have you seen that increase in that outcome? From an employer standpoint, it says because of Bucketlist Rewards, our leadership and the engagement between our workers and our team has increased.
Yeah, for sure. So maybe I'll speak to the psychology behind all that, like which you're inferring to. There's this whole model of human psychology called Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and like at the bottom you have stuff like food and shelter, for example. And the next level up from that is the desire to be appreciated, loved, and respected by your peers. And that's what recognition is all about.
Yeah.
And it can be doubly impactful when it comes from a respected source, like a senior leader, like a CEO, a team lead. Even peers is still very meaningful. And when you see that recognition, often what happens is there'll be some sort of recognition ceremony. Maybe it's like a weekly or monthly fireside chat where everybody gets together. And maybe it is a CEO telling a story about outstanding innovation or performance. And when people see an employee get recognized for a specific behavior or maybe a company core value, everybody thinks to themselves, I want a story told about me as well. And it goes back to like how we learn as human beings. Like if you're a parent or a coach on your soccer team, people model behavior. They observe what gets rewarded and recognized, and they naturally adhere to that. They want to aspire to that. And then, so another way of thinking about it is recognition and rewards is just a motivation tool. It's an incredibly powerful motivation and alignment tool. And so whatever you want to motivate or you want as an outcome as a CEO or a senior leadership team, you can then reward and recognize. So for example, I give the example of Google up front, that like innovation matters to them. They created a founders award. They created $1 billion product. At Bucketlist, we deeply care for customers. We care about something called the Net Promoter Score or customer service. Our Net Promoter Score is a 91. And what we've done is on a week-to-week basis, employees can recognize one another for living our company value of caring for customers. And then additionally, we have something called the Net Promoter Score Award, which is anytime a customer gives us a 9 or a 10 out of 10, we celebrate that as a company. We do that in a weekly huddle. So rewards and recognition is an insanely powerful tool to motivate high performance. And again, to go outside of the traditional world, if you think about like say the Olympics, for example, right? Like you have a gold medal, and that gold medal and the whole Olympic ceremony and Olympic tradition, that drives the absolute top performance in the world. And people spend a good majority of their early life training for these moments. So rewards and recognition can undoubtedly drive peak performance among people.
That's awesome. And that engagement and what it does for your culture in the work, it has to increase. I know that we recently at Lighthouse Research, we did a research late last year, and we found out the psychological definition that we use for belonging was I feel respected, accepted, and appreciated by my leader.
Awesome.
And the increase of that was so huge for people who felt like they were respected and accepted and appreciated by their leader. And so how can leaders, and I want to get in this conversation a little bit deeper, and I want to spend a little bit of time here. How can leaders use R&R as a tool to build a great workplace culture? When I think about culture, I define it, and we've seen a lot of people say culture is how people feel Sunday night about Monday morning getting ready, right? But really, culture should be about how they feel every night to prepare. You got to work 5 days a week or 4 days, whatever it may be, whether it's virtual, remote, or in person. It's how you feel daily. And so when I think about it from a personal standpoint, culture is how employees feel, believe, and behave most of the time. How
Yeah.
do they feel about your company? How are they, what do they believe? Because what they feel and how they, what they believe is exactly how they're going to behave in that area. But what can leaders use with R&R? Can you speak about that a little bit?
Yeah, and so really good question. And I think one thing I always love to do is try to share tools or tips and takeaways. So anybody listening to this can hopefully deploy this stuff in their organization today. And I'll maybe share a few of those now. So one small way is, like, a lot of times team leads or senior managers, we have regular meetings that happen, weekly or monthly. And one of the best things I've seen done is you kick off your meetings with a good news section. So maybe the first 5 minutes of your hour-long meeting is good news. And as a leader, and I'd highly encourage you to invite all the other participants in the meeting just to recognize and call out their peers for any good work or good news that's happened over the past week. And people just shine. They like light up. They love to be recognized. So starting off with good news, highlighting the great work they've seen. Another easy one is a lot of companies will have larger all hand meetings, fireside chats that happen monthly, maybe quarterly. And same thing there. Don't call it good news anymore. Call it like shout outs. Give it like some sort of name or branding. And again, allow both peers and senior managers to call out the great work they've seen in the past week, month, or quarter. And then as a bonus tip, people learn through storytelling. For example, a story is 22 times more memorable than a statistic. So when you do get up there, especially as a leader, and you have a chance to recognize an employee, tell a compelling story. Go into the details of it. If customer service matters to you and somebody delivered outstanding customer service, tell that fantastic customer service story. I think that's a really powerful way to do it. I'll just give you one mini example. I love observing how big brands bring this to life. And over at Starbucks, I know some people love it, some people hate it, but they've done a good job bringing their values to life. And one of them is to create a warm, kind of safe environment for all customers where everybody feels welcome. And they told this story inside of Starbucks where a regular customer was coming into a specific location, and this person was mute. And so they had to communicate through sign language or writing things down. And the barista who met this person on a daily basis took the time, went out on her own to learn American Sign Language so she could communicate and take the order of this regular customer. And so one day this regular customer comes in, and this barista greets this person with American Sign Languages, and he's able to make them feel at home, make them feel a part of the Starbucks culture. And I can't and so Starbucks rewarded this story. They gave the employee the recognition and the reward. But I can't those sorts of stories get told and retold inside of an organization. Those people become your heroes, and they create these hero myths that other people can aspire to inside your organization. And at the end of the day, you can create a high performance culture where people are living the values that matter most to an organization. Oh, your audio just cut
Yep.
out.
There we go. When it comes to the culture piece of it, and we talk a little bit about retention and then engagement. What is a key workforce or workplace trend that you're watching closely at Bucketlist, and how to really make sure we're staying connected to what's moving forward with 2023, or maybe there's some opportunities or maybe oppositions that y'all are looking to help bring support to your clients and customers?
Yeah, I would say this is like a new and old trend that I'm observing closely, is just companies are still figuring out hybrid work, remote work, and distributed work. And what I would say is a lot of companies haven't taken the time to create a bit of a policy around that. And I think if you haven't figured it out, make it a strategic initiative, probably at your senior leadership team meeting, build a policy around it, and define what success looks like for if you're going to be a distributed or a remote team. Set some simple rules for your team to follow. And then, of course, the other big theme these days is all the talk around recession. I know there's tons of employees, especially in the tech sector. They're hearing these terms like RIF, like reduction in force, layoffs. There's a lot of fear around that. And I think whatever your stance is, I think transparency is more important than ever. Get out in front of your team, tell them how you're doing, tell them what the risks may or may not be, and just having those honest conversations. And I think that'll help you help companies build a really great sustainable culture.
Awesome. I like to ask this question and really kind of dive in. So more for Jason, what's on your heart As a CEO of Bucketlist Awards, what's something personal that's on your heart that you would like to see happen in 2023 to impact your team, your company, and even your potential clients in the future?
Yeah, I'll something that we kicked off that I am super passionate about is mentorship. And interestingly, I've talked a lot about modeling of behavior and whatnot. With mentorship, if you can bring in fantastic outside senior people, sometimes it can be inside your team as well, people who have a playbook, who've done it before, and you attach a high performing mentor to a very coachable person who wants to succeed in their role, you can have massive outcomes. For example, Gartner did a research on mentorship programs, and they said the average ROI is 600%. At Bucketlist, we brought in mentors for every single one of our senior leadership team members. Our revenue growth has been 3,000% over the past 3 years. And I personally have a mentor. What I've observed is, like, I'll share a few tips and tactics around the mentorship thing. Is you want to go out and find somebody who loves to coach or is an actual advisor. You want to find somebody who's done the thing that your company wants to do or the team member wants to do. So we had certain revenue goals, operational goals, and I had found this mentor who is a president of a company who had done exactly what I wanted to do. His name's Sasha Williams. He's an absolutely amazing dude. He's a really, really good friend now. I was able to connect with him. I was able to go out for a coffee with him, and then the coffee turned into a friendship, and then eventually a mentorship. And he's now our fractional COO. And man, I can't tell you the number of times he's leaned in. He's been able to give me really good sage advice and help me avoid a problem. Sometimes you make decisions today that don't have consequences, 6 months or a year from now. And he's helped me avoid a lot of landmines in the future. And then likewise, it's fantastic having a trusted source to be able to go to. So I brought in mentors for the entire senior leadership team. And it's been amazing. And what I'm looking forward to doing next is dropping it down a level to all the mid managers, and then ideally building out a full mentorship program inside the organization. So if you're a leader, I'd recommend you. If you're a coachable leader, I'd recommend finding a mentor for yourself, walk the talk first, and then if possible, parachute those additional people into the rest of your team.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Is there anything about Bucketlist that we have not covered that you'd like to touch on at all, or something that you want to, maybe give to those who are watching today?
You know what? I two things. What I'd say is, like, I would forget even Bucketlist for a moment. If you don't have a recognition program in place, maybe think back about some of the tips I've shared earlier in the conversation and do something. The quickest one is just implementing the shout outs at the beginning of a fireside chat. Just start something, recognize your people, they want it. And then if you are interested in looking at a platform, we'd be more than happy to answer any questions or inquiries you might have. I think what makes us really unique amongst many things is we have the best customer satisfaction in the industry. Our net promoter score is a 91, which is world class. We're also the easiest to use platform out there. And I'm sure a lot of people have rolled out HR tech and you roll it out and nobody uses it. Ours is the easiest one to use. It looks a lot like a Facebook or an Instagram. And then lastly, we're great at making employee dreams come true. And that'll help you create those hero myths and those stories inside your organization. So if you want to learn more, please feel free to check out our website, bucketlistrewards.com.
That is awesome. I appreciate you so much, Jason. I appreciate what you're doing as a leader, the impact that you're making there at Bucketlist Rewards, and continue to grow your pure example of what true leadership is, and really growing that, not just having a website and having an opportunity and a platform to provide it, but you're actually practicing and you're walking the walk. And so that's incredible to see, and the impact that you're making with your team, your leaders, and the other employees that's on your team as well. If somebody's wanting to reach out to you and connect with you, what's the best platform to be able to connect with you?
I would say probably LinkedIn is the best. Go there, and I'm pretty present. I try to check it a handful of times each week. So yeah.
Awesome. So you heard it first. We'll have that. We'll drop his LinkedIn in the chat here shortly, and you can connect with Jason. Jason, thank you so much. Bucketlistrewards.org. Is it .org correct?
Bucketlistrewards.com.
.com. Yeah. Bucketlistrewards.com. Make sure you check out the website. Like he said, if you don't have a recognition program, this is one of the best out there that you can check out, and you can connect there with them. You can also connect with Jason on LinkedIn for more information as well. I want to thank you for your time, Jason. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. So once again, everybody, HR Tech Talks here. Awesome conversation with Jason. Bucketlist Rewards, doing incredible things with their software and their platform. And so you want to reach out to them, especially on the platform side of rewarding and really recognizing your team. Like I said earlier, it's so vital that your leadership is a part of that process, and they do a good job of connecting your leaders to the employees and how to really keep them engaged and what that does for your retention. And so once again, I want to highlight Bucketlist Rewards, our HR Tech Awards winner from last year that we wanted to spotlight today for you. Also, remember, you can sign up at hrtechtalks.org for more information about our future shows coming up with myself and or Ben. We would love to have you there as well. And also, if you would like to be a part of this year, you want to have a nominee or you want to nominate somebody for the Tech Awards, you can go to hrtechsawards.org and you can nominate somebody there for this year's award show that we'll be doing in the springtime. My name is George. Once again, I want to thank you for joining us here on HR Tech Talks. Until next time.